Mr. Craig Griffiths, Mrs. Stacey Curran, and Mrs. Jane Woodman-Ralph. Masks do not need to be worn by us today as we are adhering to the social distancing guidelines, as detailed in the risk assessment undertaken to allow us to come into the council chamber today. Can I please remind you all to switch your phones to silent for the duration of the meeting, please? In addition, can I refer you to the protocols for remote meetings, namely, your microphones should be switched to silent or mute unless you speak in. The Democratic Service Officer will take a roll call at the start of the meeting of all members and officers. Should you wish to ask a question or make a comment, can you please indicate via the chat function or by raising your electronic hand via Teams. Please do not put your questions or comment in the chat function. When speaking, please also introduce yourself. I'm Councillor Scott Jones, the Mayor of Neath Talbot. Jane, could I kindly ask that you take the roll call when you're ready, please?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Angharad Aubrey.
Present.
Scott Bamsey. Councillor Bamsey. Councillor Causey. Councillor Causey. Helen Clark. Councillor Clark.
Present.
Councillor Cara Clement Williams.
Present, Jane.
Councillor Matthew Crowley.
Present, Jane.
Councillor Arthur Davis. Councillor Davis, I have seen you. Councillor Arthur Davis. Councillor Nicola Davis.
Here.
Councillor Oliver Davis.
Present.
Councillor Ros Davis.
Presennol, present.
Councillor Caroline Edwards.
Present.
Councillor Jamie Evans.
Presennol.
Councillor Sharon Freegard. Councillor Charlotte Goldsworthy.
Present.
Councillor Wyndham Griffiths.
Present.
Councillor Joe Hale.
Present, Jane.
Councillor Sian Harris.
Present.
Councillor Mike Carvey.
Yeah, present, Jane.
Councillor Nigel Hunt.
I'm Jane. Present.
Councillor Steve Hunt.
I'm here, Jane.
Councillor Jeremy Hurley.
Present.
Councillor Chris James. Councillor Hugh James.
I'm here, Jane.
Councillor Chris Jones.
Present.
Councillor Doreen Jones.
Present.
Councillor Hugh Jones. Councillor Jane Jones.
Present.
Councillor Leanne Jones.
Present.
Councillor Simon Noyle.
Yes, I'm here, thank you.
Councillor Ted Latham.
Yeah, present, Jane.
Councillor Dean Lewis. Councillor Dean Lewis. Councillor Alan Llewellyn.
Presennol, Jane, present.
Councillor Alan Lockyer.
Present, Jane.
Councillor John Miller.
Present.
Councillor Sandra Miller.
Present.
Councillor Ridian Mason.
Presennol.
Councillor Del Morgan.
Yeah, presennol.
Councillor Suzanne Paddison.
Present.
Councillor Martin Peters. Councillor Martin Peters. Councillor Annette Purcell.
Present.
Councillor Sean Percy.
Present.
Councillor Saif Rahman.
Present.
Councillor Peter Rees.
Present, Jane.
Councillor Sonia Reynolds.
Present, Jane.
Councillor Anthony Richards.
Presennol, present.
Councillor Peter Richards.
Morning, Jane.
Councillor Marcia Spooner.
Present. Presennol.
Councillor Anthony Taylor. Councillor Rachel Taylor.
Present.
Councillor David Whitelock.
Present, Jane.
Councillor Chris Williams. Councillor Chris Williams. Councillor Rob Jones.
Yes, I'm present, Jane, and can you note that there are people putting in the chat that they haven't been able to respond because Teams have crashed on them, so they are present.
I will be going over the ones that haven't answered me, Leader. Councillor Scott Jones.
Present.
Councillor Dennis Keogh.
Present.
Councillor Annette Wingrave.
Present, Jane.
Councillor Rob Wood.
Present.
Councillor Alwyn Woolcock.
Presennol present, Mr. Mayor.
Right, if I can just double check now, the ones who I have another answer for. Scott Bamsey, are you here? Scott Bamsey. Dean Causey.
I'm present, Jane. Thank you.
Lovely, thank you. Arthur Davis.
Jane, I can see
Yeah.
he's present, but he's on hold for some
Right,
reason.
that's okay. We will sort that out.
Yeah, I'll sort that out in the background.
Thank you. Sharon Freegard.
Present, Jane. Thanks.
Chris James. Chris James, are you present?
He was present, Jane, but he's been kicked out according to the computer.
Right.
So IT need to check that one.
Yeah, we'll sort
Chris
that one.
James, Jane, he's put his apologies in.
Right, thank you. Can I have Hugh Jones? Is he able to be with us? Hugh Jones? I'm just double checking now the ones that have. Martin Peters, are you here? Chris Williams? There we are, Mr. Mayor. We have now done the roll call.
Thanks very much, Jane. Okay, we'll move on to agenda item 1, members' interest. Are there any interest to declare? Please indicate by raising your electronic hand via Teams or via the chat function. And when called, please state details. Jane will forward then an electronic version of the form that needs to be completed, and if you could kindly email that back to her. So under agenda item 1, can I ask any members' interest, please?
I can't see any indicated, Mr. Mayor, so there's no declarations of interest.
Thank you, Jane. Okay, we'll therefore move to agenda item 2, access to meetings. We'll now move into private session under access to meetings to resolve and exclude the public for the following item of business pursuant to section 100A(4) and 5 of the Local Government Act 1972 and paragraphs 12 and 13 of part of 4 Schedule 12A of the above Act. Please can I have a proposer and a seconder, please?
I move, Mr. Mayor.
I second, Mr. Mayor.
Thanks very much. Jane, can you please now confirm that the public have left the meeting and that recording of the meeting has stopped?